I'm surrounded by greatness, and some of you don't know it, and it supports what I have been blessed to, been called in this season. God has gifted me with a book that is needed for what I consider to be an area that needs a focus in. And that area of focus is, I believe, that one plants the seed, one tills the soil, and one should reap the harvest. And the one where the tilling the soil needs to be is particularly in our middle school. And the focus in our middle school, I wanted to make sure I give a task-specific lesson and a book in season that is called Hidden Heroes Among Us. That book is now finished. And what they're placing on your tables now is a QR code and information with respect to the same, that if you will, you could be the first ones to order that book tonight. And 100% of the proceeds go to our Henry County Sheriff's Office Foundation that will help us continue to do the work, to continue to pour into our youth. I'm grateful for an incredibly good superintendent that understands vision, direction, and purpose, but particularly understands what we need to do in the now to shift and to change. We can do a lot of talking, but hitting the ground running and sitting down, what old folk used to say, crisscross applesauce, and have a conversation that they can hear and understand. And oftentimes in all of our getting, we don't get the understanding that we should, and we're missing a generation. As Dr. Simpson and I and several guests have had an opportunity to talk to some of these young people, we're not connected. And we're having unnecessary challenges with respect to them because we're not connected. And we're not taking the time to sit down, crisscross applesauce, and say, how can I help you suffer less? And so understanding the mandate that I believe is placed on my life, we finished this book. And I'm honored with this book. And I want to make sure that we have an opportunity to try to put that in everyone's hand. But the book will be for a small fee of $34 and some change, I believe. The shipping and handling is in that. It will come right to your door. But in addition to that, it's also for the parents as well to understand that we have a collective mission to ensure that the next generation is in good hands. Because I didn't say old folk, I'm gonna use the word seasoned folk. Because the seasoned folk that are in this room should be passing the baton to someone who is a key word for this season as well, Pastor, qualified. And Shay just talked about being qualified, maybe least qualified in this particular season. And it's important that they have a relationship with us and understand that they need to be qualified for the next season. And relationship to me, as I have understood it, means to be able to respond to the ability that's within you. To respond to the ability that's within you. And if our young folk can understand that, maybe, just maybe, then the town and the area that we consider to be a beacon of light of Henry County will become a brighter light for not only this great state that we live in, but the great states that we're connected to called the United States of America. And so this is the first book. We're honored by it. So make sure that you take that QR code. I am humbled to be in a position to write my very first book, and I'm humbled to be forward by great people like Dr. Samuel Chan, Thomas Brown, and my great doctor right here, Dr. Ralph Simpson. They're all forwarding the book and endorsing the book as well. So thank you guys so much. Give them a hand for this season. Let me say very quickly, thank you for my great wife for 40 years that we have been together. 34 of those years have been married, and 41 years this year will be that we met at an institution called Frederick Douglass High School. Now I'm going somewhere in a minute with that. I got to do it. I got to do it. And I know there's a lot of haters in the room, but that's okay. I'll come back to that. And my great daughters that are here, Christian and Regine, and my beautiful granddaughter, River, is here. I can go around the room. My sister is here, Deborah is here, and her husband, James, and Ashley and Bray, and my cousin, his government name is Marvin Scandrett. You know him as Slim from 112 that has sold about 40 million records. That guy. But from a core perspective, I will stand on the principles of Frederick Douglass High School because Frederick Douglass High School created legends uncompromisingly. And in the room, when you're surrounded by people there, you'd be like, wow, really? Who would have known that people would be in the room like the son of a civil rights legend named Julian Bunn? And his son has gone on to do great things in the city of Atlanta. He's a councilman now, Mr. Michael Bunn is here. Atlanta. Oh, I can continue to go. I keep seeing face. Norris Long, my God. Norris Long is here, is also a part of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated as well. Graduates from Douglass High School. I can go on and on. I see Carlos in the back, graduate from Douglass High School. I also see Darryl Fry in the back, Douglass High School. No, I don't want to do that. Y'all stand up when I'm calling your name, please. I'm going somewhere. The folk on the west side, Turner High School, and they're getting upset with this, but that's okay. It's okay. But who would have known Deborah stood up at Douglass High School as well. Jerry Freeman, who has played with Outkast, one of my closest friends in the world, Outkast, Stevie Wonder, Janelle Monáe, the list goes on, and Earth, Wind, and Fire, the whole nine. Jerry Eugene Freeman, Douglass High School. One of the best drummers in the world, one of my closest friends in the world as well, Edward Sonny Emery, who's played with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Oh my God, it would take me about 7 years to talk about the people you played with, but he's on tour now with a young man called Eric Clapton. You guys have heard about him, but Sonny Emery, one of the best in the world to do it. And I say all of that because there was one of the things, Norris, that was on the front of Douglass High School that said, where there's no struggle, there's no progress. But there's no struggle, there's no progress. And oftentimes when we are struggling, we want to give up and quit when challenges come our way. But I have learned that when challenges come, that it's time to push because pain is always on the front side of the blessing. So as you move forward, you need to understand that when pain is coming, start rejoicing. Because you're close to where the enemy does not want you to get, and the only thing that he can try to do is a basic message. His basic meaning and message is to kill, steal, and destroy. So why would he not make it challenging for you on the cusp or the precipice on your blessing to create challenges for you? And I dare us have the unmitigated gall or the temerity to get mad when challenges come, because Frederick Douglass said, where there's no struggle, there's no progress. Old church used to say, count it all joy. They're supposed to talk about you. They only talk about people that don't do anything. They're supposed to try to separate us. That's their job. Kill, steal, destroy. It's in the same book. They're supposed to do that. So we know the answers to the test. Why do we consistently fall prey to failing the test? He just gave an incredible message in season. Because to unify, listen to this, is going to cost you something. It's going to cost you some of your pride, some of your snootiness, some of your being alone, some of your speaking in garbage can settings. It's going to cost you something to get to know someone else, because listen to this, when you're looking at someone, it's always more than what you can see. So I dare us judge someone in the season that we create for them without saying hello. And how can I help you suffer less? That should be our mantra here in Henry County. Understanding how to unify. Why do I consider it to be God's country? Because it's a God purpose that we have that's going to cost us something to unify. And once that happens, then things are going to change significantly in this beacon of light that we call God's country. And it's going to certainly influence these 158 counties that we attach to right here in Georgia, that can certainly influence the states that we live in because we're not united the way we should. Right here in Henry County. But it's going to cost you something, irrespective of your titles, because your God-given name did not come with the title that's in front of it. Jesus. And every now and again, Pastor, my grandmama used to say, you start smelling yourself. And I want us to understand that if we act in humility and we act being humbled consistently and understand the purpose that hopefully and prayerfully you were called for, then and very then, we can start to unite. We can start to come together and begin to change each other's lives for the best. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired of unnecessary fighting. I want us to understand, and we've been great, incredible leadership here. And like Dana tells me all the time, I call her Dana Lemons. She says the potential that you all have is scary. The potential that you all have is scary. But here's what we need to learn how to do. And we've learned how to love differently in closers. My first and second closer for all the pastors at this table. We've learned how to love differently in the Henry County Sheriff's Office, and our play is infectious. But instead of L-O-V-E, we L-U-N-V. And the L stands for? Listen. To listen. We do a lot of the goddamn talking. Shut your mouth up and listen every now and again. Just listen every now and again, because when you listen, I guarantee you, you have an opportunity to process. And once you process, you'll get to the U in our acronym, and the U stands for? In that same great book that Dr. Chan talked about before, it talks about in all of your getting to get understanding. And oftentimes you cannot have understanding without a conversation. You don't know my name, but you're judging me. You don't know where I'm from, but you're judging me. You don't know what I'm going through, but you're judging me. You could have the answer to the test that I'm struggling with, but you're judging me and you won't help me. In all of our getting, get understanding. And last but not least, everybody needs this, which is V, and the V stands for? Validate someone. Validate. If no one else believes in you, I believe in you. Remember you were called, even when it's the darkest of night. Pain comes in the nighttime, but joy will certainly come in the morning if you can withstand that time frame. And everyone in this room has a calling. The question becomes whether or not you're answering to it or you're answering to someone else that's on the corner talking in garbage can settings on things that will not progress this county to nowhere but failure. That is not of this county. It's not of this creed. It's not of what God and who God has called us to be in this particular season. And here is a wake-up call for all of the talent that's in the room. And this tremendous talent in the room. This was all a setup. Because unity is what we are fighting against. Let's embrace it. And let's go to the next level of excellence together. And I can assure you, it will make heavens move. Because unity is a word, like you said before, it is absolutely nothing we can't do if we come together. But please note that there's a warning there. We won't always agree. And that's healthy. Not to agree. Let's just agree not to disagree. Let's make sure we're on the same page as music. I love you guys because now we understand in closing that our new way of loving is to L to do what? Listen. To U to do what? And V to do what? To validate.